Hi guys, this is Tracy from EdTech and today's topic is Google Calendar. In this video, you will learn how to navigate the interface, toggle through various calendars, add events to your calendar, create a new calendar, add additional calendars to your view, view and hide calendars, and access your calendar from your smartphone. There are many benefits to using Google Calendar. You can use it to plan, manage, and organize your time. Track due dates for assignments, add extracurricular events to your calendar, personalize it to fit your specific needs. It's accessible through mobile apps for iOS and Android. You can attach documents and combine all your calendars into one view. First off, you're going to want to log into your Google account, come up to the Apps menu, and then you're going to select Calendar. First, we're going to learn about the navigation across the top of the program. So here I am. This is the main menu, and if I click on this, I can either see a full view or the condensed view and get the menu on the side. This is today's date. This allows me to navigate through week by week, month by month, and I can come back to the Today button to get right back to where I am today, which is really handy. The next feature is the search feature. You can type an event that you're looking for in here and hit search, and it will pull up everything that has that word in it for you. So that's kind of a handy tool to have as well. Just hit the arrow to go backwards. And then we're going to come over to the settings. There's different settings in here that we're going to talk about a little bit later. You also have different ways that you can view your calendar. Right now this is the week view, but I can also view my events by day. And you'll notice that when it changes the navigation arrows here, it'll go day by day by day. If I'm set to the week view, it'll navigate through week by week by week. This is the month view here. So you can see everything at once, and I can navigate through month by month. So these arrows will change depending on whatever view you have. You can also look at the schedule view. I like this view, especially when I have it on my phone. It's really handy to see what's coming up next. The red line is where you are in the exact moment, day and time. And then there's also different views. I'm going to come back to the week view because that is my preferred way, and I'm going to come over to today to get back to where I was. Now navigating down the side, we already talked about this main menu here. This is Create. This is how you'll add events to your calendar. This is just a nice calendar month by month. I can quickly scroll through to look at dates coming up. You can add different calendars here, and we will talk about this in a minute, but you'll see there's different choices here for you to add different calendars on top of the calendar that you already have. So we'll come back and take a look at that and play with that in a minute. Then these are my calendars. These are ones that I can add dates to. I can collapse the view, or I can expand the view. This is my personal calendar. Your name will be right there. You'll notice the green, anything in green on my calendar is coming from my actual personal calendar there. Anything in gray, this is my soccer games calendar that I created for myself, and everything's going to be gray. So when I look at my calendar, I can see, oh, that's a soccer event. This is my work schedule. This is my own personal calendar, etc. These down here, other calendars, I can't add dates to, but these are like my Google Classroom calendars that are populated by somebody else. Now it's your turn to log in and to explore Google Calendar for a few minutes. So teachers, if you would please pause the video, allow students about 7 to 10 minutes to take care of the tasks listed here. Now we're going to explore creating events on your calendar. There are a couple ways to create events, but I'm going to go ahead and click on Create right here. And then I'm going to add my title. So I think I'll put something like Study with Maggie. And on this pop-up window, I have a few options, and I can change things like the date or the time, start time, end time, start dates and end dates. I can also put it on a different calendar if I want. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Right now it's going to remain on my main calendar. But if I click on more options, that's exactly what I get. There's some more options here. So I can change my dates and my times from this menu. I can make it an all-day event and it'll block out my calendar for the day. I can also create it as a repeating event. So let's say I want to do this every day or just weekly on Tuesdays. I have some options here to make this a recurring event. I can also add a specific location. So I'm going to type in library and I'm going to find Spokane Valley Library because that's where we're going to meet. It gives me the address and everything. I can also set up notifications, so I can either have a notification pop up on my in my calendar or email. So this is going to be a regular notification, and I'm going to set it for a minute, 10 minutes. I'm going to set an additional notification by email that I'm going to set this one to maybe an hour before. This way I'll get 2 different notifications to remind me that I've got to get moving to get over to meet Maggie and do some studying. Right here again, I have different calendars I can put the event on. We're going to keep it there. I can also change the color, and I'm going to go ahead and change this to like a lavender color, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. But I can also mark on my calendar if I want this blocked out as I'm busy or I'm free. And then you have a default visibility here that you can take a look at and figure out what works best for you. So it can either be a public or a private availability. And then I'm just going to type a note to myself that we're going to be studying for Spanish. I can also invite Maggie so it goes on her calendar as well. So I'm going to click up here, Add Guests, and basically I can just start typing in someone's name and it'll pull it from my contacts. So I'm going to choose her email right here, and then when I come up to hit save, it's going to ask me if I want to send her an invite. And I do, so I'm going to send that invitation off to her. So now the event shows up here on my main calendar page. Next, I'm going to show you how to add an event just by clicking in a blank space in your calendar. So I just click in a space, and I'm going to add another study time, this time with Carly, and I get the same dialog box up here where I can change my dates, my times, put it on a different calendar if I want to. I can also go to the more options. And the only thing I'm going to change here is I'm going to change the color because I want it to match my other study time. So that what I'm doing is I'm telling myself that anything that's in this lavender color means I'm studying with someone. Notice also the green line on the side of this indicates it's from my main calendar. I can also move my times around, my events around, just by dragging and dropping and resizing the events. If I drag this and put it up here, it's going to automatically change the date and the time slot that I put it in, which is kind of handy. So now it's your turn to try some of the things I was just showing you. So teachers, if you would please pause the video like you did before and allow students 5 to 10 minutes to create events on their calendar. And then when you're ready, go ahead and press play to resume this video. Now we're going to learn how to add additional calendars that you can manage yourself. So right here under Add Calendar, I'm going to go ahead and choose Create a New Calendar. Next, I'm going to want to name my calendar. So this is going to be my babysitting calendar to keep track of my babysitting jobs that I have. And after I type in the title, I'm going to go ahead and hit Create Calendar. Now this might take a minute or two to populate, but just be patient with it. Once it's been created, just hit the back arrow in Settings to take you back to your calendar. So here I am. Here's my new calendar that I can control. I'm going to come over and change the color of it so it doesn't look so close to my green calendar. So I can choose, I think I'll choose this color right here, and you can see it changed the color of my calendar. Now I can go in and I can start creating events. I want to show you how to do this because this is where that choosing another calendar comes in. So I'm going to type in an event, babysitting for the Jones family. And I can set my time. We'll do 8 to, yeah, that works right there. Now here, I'm going to drop down, I'm going to put it on my babysitting calendar. Once I do it, you can see it turns that hot pink color. So that tells me it's corresponding to my babysitting calendar. Now it's your turn again. This time you can create a calendar for yourself. This could be a work calendar, a sporting calendar, or some type of extracurricular calendar. And once you've created this, go ahead and add an event or 2 or 3 to it. And be sure that you're selecting the correct calendar destination before you actually save that event. Teachers, you can go ahead and pause the video here. Allow students 5 to 10 minutes to create their calendar and add events to it. Now we're going to talk about other calendars. So we've been working in the section called My Calendars, where I can create my own calendars and add my own events. Now we're going to talk about other calendars. These are calendars I belong to. For instance, my Google Classroom calendars are here. So my assignments that are due in my classes are being populated through this Google Calendar. So I'm going to add a calendar here. And this is pretty fun because you can actually browse calendars of interest. These are populated by Google in conjunction with different organizations. So I'm going to come down here to baseball, and I'm going to choose Major League Baseball because I want the Dodgers schedule to appear in my calendar. And when I add it, you'll notice I come back here, and there is the Dodgers schedule for the season, and it appears underneath the other calendars. See right here, Los Angeles Dodgers. Now we're going to talk about displaying and hiding your calendars. So here I am, and it's looking a little bit busy, so I think I want to remove my babysitting calendar from my list. I don't even want to see it in my list anymore. So I'm just going to hide it like that. I can also go and hide from my list other calendars. So for instance, I'll come down to my Spanish, and I'm going to choose to hide that calendar from my list. So now you see that on my list of all my different calendars, they are no longer populated there. But let's say I change my mind. I'm going to come up here to the Settings cog and click on Settings. And from here, I'm going to go over to the section that says Settings for my calendars. And I'm going to scroll down and see the eyeballs with the line through it. That means that it's not visible anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that. And that is going to make it reappear for me, repopulate. So now let's say I just want to remove one completely forever. I never want to see it again. I come over here, I click on the X, and it's going to give me a warning that if I remove this calendar, all of the events on it are going to be gone. So be very careful when you're removing a calendar this way. Now, one thing that I really like is that it's really easy just to hide a calendar from your view. If I just click on the box and deselect it, the calendars start to disappear. And they're still in my list, so I can go back to them pretty easily. But if I just want to isolate one calendar, it's pretty easy to do just by clicking in the little box to give the check mark. Next, we're going to talk about the smartphone app. Now, something that I found to be essential is the ability to sync my Google Calendar with my smartphone. This allows me to easily schedule meetings and events from virtually anywhere, even if I don't have a computer with me. Since Google Calendar is web-based, you can access it from anywhere. You can even view a read-only version of your calendar if you don't have internet access. The biggest benefit I have found is that any events I add to my Google Calendar can be viewed on all my devices, my MacBook, smartphone, tablet, etc. And it's pretty easy to get Google Calendar on your smartphone. First, you need to download the Google Calendar app to your device. The next thing you need to do is to open the app. You can either select the account you want to use, or if your account is not listed, choose the Add Another Account option and sign in using your EVSD Google credentials. Then be sure to tap the Get Started button. If you want more detailed tutorials on how to do this, you can always search YouTube. There's a lot out there. So there are some additional features of Google Calendar that we're not going to be touching on today, but there's some really neat things you can use, like the Find a Time feature if you're trying to schedule meetings with groups of friends. You can share your calendar with other people. You can hide details of your events when you are sharing their calendar. You can add attachments to your events so you're not looking for documents. And you can import other people's calendars, which is kind of a nice feature. Now it's your turn again. So take this time to work in Google Calendar to get yourself organized. You can create new calendars and events, find calendars of interest, adjust your settings, those type of things. You can even take this time to add the app to your smartphone. If you're looking for more advanced features, you can go to the URL listed below to learn more. Teachers, if you would please pause the video here and allow students to work at their own pace. This will be the final activity of this video.